Hi, I'm Ross Jacobs. This is my horse Riley, and today I wanted to talk about relationships and the way that we can relate to our horses. And I want to start by just giving you a story. I've got Riley here because this is one of his favourite stories, and he never gets sick and tired of hearing it. So, a few years back, when I was a little younger, I used to do a lot of trekking, long distance trekking, and it was always by myself. It would always be just me and a couple of horses, mainly my horses Luke and China, which are now gone. But so anyway, there was one period where we were up in the bush, up in the mountains. I hadn't seen anybody for 3 or 4 weeks, and I'd been on the trail for a couple of months, maybe even 3 months, I can't recall. And I was camped down on the river flat, and I was getting ready for bed. It was getting dark and I'd eaten, and I heard this noise, and I looked up, and there were these 2 young girls coming in out of the dark through the bush. And they just appeared. And it turns out that they were on a hiking trip with some friends from a hiking club, and they were camped further up the river. And one of the guys had become quite ill on the trip, and they were hoping that the girls were sent to go and try and get some help, because he was really quite ill. And this was the days before mobile phones and things like that, so they were really isolated. So the girls were sent off to try and find a farmhouse and hopefully get some help for this guy. They saw my campfire, so they thought I was camping, so they thought we would have a vehicle, but unfortunately for them I only had the 2 horses. So I said to them, well, look, I can get my horses and I can go up and we'll have a look at the guy. If need be, I can cart him across the mountains and we'll find somebody over there, because it's close to a town. So I had a look at him, and he was feverish, and I felt that I needed to do something. So I packed him up, put him on I put him up on China, and we started off, and in the midst of the dark, the horses already done about 30 k's that day through the mountains, so they were already really tired. But we had another 35 k's before we could get to a town, and we had to go up over the mountains in the pitch black. And the guy was ill and he couldn't ride, and we were going through the mountains, and he came off a couple of times. I remember one time in the dark, China had to drop down onto a ledge, and after a few seconds I realized China wasn't with me anymore. He wasn't following Luke and I, so I stopped and I turned around, and there was the guy on the ground, and China just stopped. He didn't know he was supposed to stop, but he did. And I got the guy back on the horse, and this happened another probably 3 times. The guy just fell off China, and China just stopped every time. And I was so impressed that he did that, because somehow he knew it was his job to look after this guy, and he did a terrific job. And so we finally found a farmhouse, and woke up the people, and the husband took the guy into the nearest town and to medical center. And the lady gave me some soup and some toast and some hay for the horses, and we headed back. And I told the people at the camp, that the other hikers, what had happened, and we left it like that. Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop the camera, stop the camera, stop the camera. What the hell's going on here? How many of you thought that this was a video about me just telling you some story from my past, and that there was going to be a clear message in that story that was going to help change everything about your relationship with your horse? How many of you were aware of what I was doing, what Riley was doing, and when that we were not on the same planet? This video is not about that story that I started to tell. It's about something very different that's even more important about our relationship. So let's try that again. Hi, I'm Ross Jacobs. This is my horse Riley. Today I wanted to talk about relationships, and I was going to relate a story to you that might illustrate the importance of relationships. So some of you might know, but I've done a lot of long distance trekking in my time, and just hold on a minute. Riley could not stand near me without pushing on me and fussing. So I said to him, don't do that. But I had to do something to get him to understand that that was not okay. So if he can't stand near me and be okay, he can stand over there and not push on me. I don't need him that close. And I need to take care of him before I take care of finishing my story. It's important that we don't drive our horses nuts by telling them, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. Set it up. He doesn't need to come forward. Set it up and tell him, no, that's okay. And if I needed to do more, if I needed to move to get his thought to be with me and soften and right there and waiting, then that's what I would do. But I wouldn't be okay. Now, if I'm going to stand here and tell my story, I'm not dealing with him. If he needs to look around, that's okay. If he needs to sniff the ground or even have a bit of something to eat, that's okay too. It's okay because I'm not asking anything of him. He's sort of on his time, but he's not leaving. And if he went to look away, or he went to have a bite to eat of the grass or some hay that Six left in here before, or he need to look around, he's allowed to do it, but he's not allowed to leave me. And when I say not allowed, he's not in trouble, but it's my responsibility to help him find that he can still stay with me while he's still taking interest in these other things. Like his little friend over there that you can't see, Chops, is moving around. So he's taken an interest in seeing what she's doing. And that's okay. I don't have to be on him. I don't have to pat him. And that's one of the hardest things people find, is to have a horse nearby that they have to always pet him. Well, we're always in their face. Why wouldn't he be pushing on us? Why wouldn't? Because we're always pushing on him. We're always in his territory, in his space, in his thoughts. Why wouldn't he? So if he can't be just chilled out and standing there, then he can stand over there. And you can see he's not bothered, and I'm not worrying him. If I wanted him up here, see if he can do that without pushing on me. Now, he said he can't. So I'll say, get away, step away, and he can stand over there and not push on me. And then if I get a little change of that, see if he can stand here. Bring that foot forward, just stay there. I can pet on him, he doesn't need to push on me. Don't push. It's okay, we're still mates. It's okay. He can do that. I'm not asking anything of him. So I stopped talking about the story because I need to take care of my horse. And if I say to him, we're going, it should weigh nothing. If I say to him, we're going over here, it should weigh nothing. If I want him to think over there, it should weigh nothing. If I want him to think over there, it should weigh nothing. And if I say, you know what, I'm going to talk to the camera, you just hang out for a little bit, it should weigh nothing. And it's okay that he looks over there. I'm not going to pick up this rope and say, hey, don't do that. He wants to take an interest in that horse over there having a drink, then he's allowed to, because I'm not asking anything of him. Don't drive your horse nuts. I hope that gives you some thoughts, because I see it all the time where people fuss on their horse. They say, don't do that, don't do that, don't crowd me, go over there, pull your head up. But they never tell the horse what he can do, and they never get him in a spot where he just wants to chill out. They're always just pick, and never give a horse an clear understanding why. Leave him alone when he's not doing anything to interfere with you. Help him when he is, and leave him alone in between. So give that some thought, and maybe play with your own horses and watch other people. You'll see it all the time. All people always fussing with their horses. I hope that helps. We'll try and do another video before too long. Good night, Alice, wherever you are.